Hi, I'm Norman A. Hood, financial advisor and host of the Exit Plan Show. I interview America's top advisors, like today's guest, Leo DeLisi of DeLisi Ghee. To help business owners enjoy more personal freedom, grow companies faster, and transition ownership seamlessly when the time comes. Welcome to the show, Leo.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me here.
Yep, you're welcome. Hey, we're going to start out. I'm just going to have you tell our audience a little bit about your background and your career path up until now.
Okay. Well, I've been in the business valuation field for 30 years. It seems like those days have flown by.
Yeah.
And got into the field, came out of the business brokerage world.
Okay.
So I was in that for a couple of years with some partners. Got into the valuation field as a result of that. Really enjoyed the valuation part of it. And just decided to pursue the valuation education, the various designations, and have done that, again, for the past 30 years, and just built a practice in 3 different states. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great ride.
Yeah, great. How do you think people that know you the best would describe you personally?
I think people that know me would say I'm a perfectionist. I like to get things right. I like to drive my admin staff a little bit nuts with little tweaking edits and things like that. But you want things to be right.
Yeah, especially on evaluation.
Absolutely. I know I'm talking about the big things, even the little things, just sometimes just stylies and things like that. But it's great. I think it's perfectionist, and probably I'd like to get things right. I really like to see, when you're in a litigation case, you like to see justice. You really try to hope you're on the right side of a case. I try to determine that before taking a case. And for the most part, we're on the right side, I think.
Okay. As far as DeLisi Ghee goes, how would you describe the different services you offer? I know you have different locations.
Yes, we're in Providence, Rhode Island. We're in Nashville, Tennessee, and John G covers the Florida, Naples, and from Port St. Lucie to Naples offices. And I think what we do essentially, I tell people, we answer 2 questions for a business. How much is my business worth, and how can I make it more valuable? And those are really the 2 focal points that we have.
Well, it's kind of interesting because when we first started the show, we did some introductory, to get things going. I did a few spots myself, and those were 2 of the 3 things we focused on.
Okay. Yeah, that's what people, business owners, that's what they're interested in.
But I'll tell you, the one episode, we have very good analytics, and the most watched episode on this show, and I think we got about 100 on right now, is the most watched episode is about how much is my company worth.
Okay, great.
I mean, really. Yeah. So, you're right in a sweet spot there.
It is a sweet spot. It's more, when I look at kind of the whole picture of exit planning, I look at it the same way I looked at valuation practice. We've been a cog in the wheel. If there's a problem, normally we're brought in by a CPA or an attorney or another professional advisor. They have a client that's in need of a valuation for a purpose, whether it be estate planning or exit planning, whatever the case may be. We become part of that process, kind of the cog in the wheel, if you will. And I think on the exit planning piece, it's the same thing. We're not taking a client from start to finish and taking them to market and taking them out the door to retirement. We're actually trying to say, here's what the company's worth, and then we're going to help you get more value to it. So when they're ready to go, we're going to hand them over to the experts that can take them out, if you will, and be able to bring them to fruition of sale if that's what they want.
So what do you think differentiates you from some other valuation firms? I picked up one thing in the back of my mind, but what do you think?
Well, I think first of all, we focus. Our entire being has been business valuation. We're not CPAs, we're not attorneys. We realize we are a cog in the wheel, and it's an expertise. So we've got that, and I also think that the 30 years of expertise in the field gives us kind of a unique entree into helping business owners add value to the company, because they'll ask us the question, how can we make it more valuable? And I think we bring a unique set of experience to the table to help people identify what are the strengths and weaknesses and how can we focus in on that.
So you probably focus on value drivers.
Exactly.
So I'm just going to throw this out. This wasn't part of what I planned, but there's so many different books out here on value drivers and the different types of value drivers. I'm sure you have a list of how many value drivers do you identify?
I don't know if I have a list that I could tell you the number, but certainly there are many.
There's a lot of them.
Every business is so different and so unique, but yet, having said that, there's a lot of commonality from business owner to business owner, and a lot of the weaknesses I think transcend from one to the other.
Well, there is some uniqueness in what you do because those valuations involve taking all those into account. So when you're actually doing a valuation, you can see deficiencies and point those out.
No doubt about it.
Help somebody.
And it's amazing. I think most business owners, they realize the deficiencies, but they're so busy trying to run a business that they don't tackle the deficiencies. And I think that's where professional advisors have to really make a difference in increasing value for really making things better for the business.
I can tell you like what you're doing. You got a lot of energy for it. So why are you so passionate about just doing valuations?
I really enjoy the relationship with the business owner. I've been dealing with closely held businesses and owners for those 30 years. We've done a couple of public company acquisitions along the way. But for the most part, it's been private businesses, and I've seen the old school, the older generation that was just work, get down and hit it and work. And I've seen people that didn't make it through high school become multi-millionaires, extremely successul. They just had that it that would get it to that level. And I love just the opportunity, because we don't specialize in any one business. I think the thing I enjoy the most is being able to go into a business and just be able to see different, just learn. And you walk in the door and one's a service provider, one may be a manufacturer. When you actually see a metal bar, raw material, come out the other end as a finished product, that's a neat thing to see, to walk through that and see their passion, because that's what they're passionate about, is the process. Usually. A lot of business owners don't like the business running part of it, if you will. So it's kind of fun to that, to me, is really what energizes me, is to see where they are. And then when you issue a valuation, it's always fun to see, because I'm trying to be as independent as I can, so it's always nice to see after the fact, to see what that expectation is. Are we where they think they would be? And often it is, and often it's not. So it's kind of interesting.
So if they're on the short side, you can help them get to where they had hoped it would be.
That's exactly right.
Okay. Last question, I typically ask our guests to give a tip in a number of different areas. And in your case, I'm just going to pinpoint one area. If you were to give a business owner one tip on how to grow their business faster, what would that one tip be?
I think the key is going to be, I focus a lot on the revenue side, the revenue model. I mean, as a valuator, we're focused on profitability. Of course, that's what's going to drive the value. But the quality of the revenues are critical. And I think a lot of times, I've sat with clients where they're doing a couple $1 million in revenues, and all of a sudden there's this huge contract that comes in to supply a big box, for example, and they go from $2 million to $8 million almost overnight. And there's growing pains that go with that. But what they don't realize is they've just incredibly increased the risk of that company. And from a valuation perspective, yes, there's more dollars on the bottom line, but they're now in a position that's high risk with 80% or whatever it is, percent of your business is now into one big box, and any given moment the big box can turn around and say, your inventory is consignment, we're going to take, if you don't shave 5 cents a unit off, take your stuff out of here. And I've seen it happen, and it's devastating to a business owner.
Okay. So I'm also going to change the format. Normally I do the outro and tell people this is our guest and this is his company, but I'm going to let you just look at our audience here and just do the outro and tell them who you are, what you do, and how they can get in touch with you.
Okay, great. Well, I'm Leo DeLisi, Providence, Rhode Island, Nashville, Tennessee. I'm part of DeLisi Ghee, which is also in Naples as well. We're a full-time business valuation firm. Again, we answer 2 questions for business owner. How much is my business worth, and how can I make it more valuable? And I think that's what kind of sets us apart a little bit. And we are a cog in the wheel, and we work hand in hand with accountants, attorneys, financial planners, and exit planners. I think that would really sum up our role that we play in the professional community.
Okay.
Thank you for having me here.
Great job. You're guest host. Thanks.
Thank you.